What's going down, y'all? Hoping everybody could see us right now with the technology and how everything works. We're doing this all remotely and, from two different cities. It's going to be a great time. We got a lot to go through. I want to welcome everybody here tonight, holding it down and representing the culture with us in a major way. And it's important, some of these, tips, industry tips that we're going to go through tonight. Of course, I represent CRANIUM Festival, one of the co-founders. I go by the name of Dynamic, AKA your favorite light skin. My mom calls me Justin Gunderson, and this next individual that we're about to chat to here tonight for the music seminar, Industry Tips with G Wunder, of course, goes by the name of G Wunder, and he's an OG when it comes down to this music industry. He's got tips upon tips upon tips. Sometimes they say, you got the skills to pay the bills. This guy's got the tips to get the chips.
I like that.
You like it, right? He's definitely put in work for a long time. When I was out in Toronto, I've had the pleasure of, doing a few interviews with the man. He's put on for a lot of artists within the scene. He's, 20 years he spent at Much Music, putting in a lot of work in the back end there, and being responsible for a lot of the videos that we've seen, growing up. For a lot of the people that watch Much Music growing up, this guy's one of those people that was responsible for some of those, dope Canadian videos that you would see up on Much Music. So, I'm happy to have right now the record label owner from Motive Music, Mr. G Wunder. Thank you for kicking it with us tonight, and I'm gonna let you do your thing here on this online seminar.
Yes, Dynamic, salute, and salute the whole world, salute the whole Canada, and salute everywhere within the sight of my voice. Shout out to CRANIUM Festival, Dynamic, and Patrick for putting on for everybody. Letting you guys know and welcome you guys to the Music Industry Tips Booklet Seminar. Music Industry Tips Booklet is a booklet that I started. But before we get to that, I want to tell you today we're going to be doing a t-shirt giveaway for everybody that orders the booklet, either online or via myself on Facebook, G Wunder. We'll be giving you a free t-shirt today. The only thing you got to pay is shipping. So back to the booklet, Dynamic, and everybody that's out there in the world. The first two volumes of the Music Industry Tips Booklet series were published by Motive Music Canada in 2016 and 2019, respectively. Volume 1 outlines 13 easy steps to starting your own independent label in Canada, while Volume 2 speaks to artists, producers, and label types. My intention behind bringing these booklets was to share a little insight and information that I gained in my over 20 years in the music industry here in Toronto, Canada, and the world. My experience both in front of the scenes and behind the scenes goes very, very deep in the game. So many stories I could tell you, so many artists that I've worked with or crossed paths with or been able to build with. Back to the booklets now, they were very successful since their release. I got a lot of great feedback from artists and music industry players. Volume 1 was even actually sponsored by SOCAN Foundation in 2018 for its second physical run. Note that name, SOCAN Foundation. So seeing a void on the educational side of the urban music industry here in Canada, I decided to write these booklets. The first thing to tell you how I got really inspired to actually write the physical booklet was sometime in the 2010s. I had gone to Canadian Music Week, and I got a booklet on just how to put your music out via like CD Baby or one of these things. And it was a short, small booklet, but it was so concise and so full of information that I was very inspired by it. Fast forward some years on Facebook, people knowing me as an OG in the game, they would always message me and be like, gee, yo, what should I do in this situation? What should I do in this situation? So that's when I put the two together and I decided to start the Music Industry Tips booklet series. So after 4 booklets, I'm going to put out a book that will be called Industry Tips. These seminars, this is the first time I've done an online seminar, but these industry tips seminars, which accompany the booklet, started in 2017 at Connects in Toronto and at Canadian Urban Music Festival, T-Dot Fest in Toronto. The seminar has since been presented at the 2018 Northern Power Summit, which is also in Toronto. Shout out DO on that one. And the 2018 Northern Touch Music Festival, which is in Winnipeg. Shout out to Shay and everybody out there, DJ Despair and all of them, holding down Winnipeg. That said, this short but concise seminar will cover a few topics from the booklets. 4 topics. First topic will be Accounting 101. Second topic will be Networking 101. Third topic will be Song Registration 101. And we're going to do a bonus section from volume 2 of the Industry Tips booklet, which is available on Amazon Kindle for a really cheap price. Check it out, or you can order the volume 2 from me directly. Cool? Everything cool, dynamic over there? You hear me clearly? Nice. So as we get into the first section, it's called Accounting 101. And this section is a short introduction to the basics of money management in the urban music environment. This was a tip that is presented in the first booklet that's available in physical form or digital form. Many smaller music startups overlook the importance of creating some kind of an accounting system. There are multiple reasons that a music company will have to have some type of reference database that documents their cash flow or their credits and their debits. In Canada, for instance, this information is often beneficial for filing your business taxes or personal taxes, whether that be via your own name as a self-proprietor or as a corporation or as an LLC. It's also important to keep track of your receipts / proof of purchase for business-related purchases, music industry purchases, whatever that may be. I'm sure you can think of many things that cost a lot of money to keep your music business going. Those are things that at the end of the year you want to debit against the income tax that you owe the government. So hopefully you've already created a business or use your name as a business to offset these costs and get these debits back at the end of the year. It's important to keep track of that stuff. Another time a business may need to access accounting information to bring it back to the urban music sphere is for grant completion. So when it comes to grant completion, I'm not sure how many of the artists on the feed right now or that are seeing this have gotten successful grants. If you have, congratulations, and keep on applying. That's an important thing. In Canada, we have a lot of granting bodies, so get that paper, especially in this post-George Floyd environment where the inequalities are being clarified and we see them clearly. It's a good time for Black artists to step up and get your money. Back to grant completion. So what happens now with most grants in Canada is first you apply, then they'll tell you whether you're successful or not within 6 weeks to many months. When you are successful, then after a little bit more paperwork, eventually you'll get the money deposited into your account. But that doesn't mean you're out of the woods and you can run and buy whatever you need or pay for whatever trip or lodging, etc. that you need. So for those grant completions, the novice artist is going to think, oh, I just need to keep my receipts. No. You need to show your proof of purchase. This is 2020. You need to show who got paid the money and just the documentation of that. So in order to not be on the hook for the money that they already gave you. You're going to have to do a grant completion. So you got to make sure that your money tracking is on point, or you might not get that grant. So for Factor, for example, yeah, at the end, when you come back I do a lot of travel grants. When we come back from the trips, we got to make sure that we have all that information to give to them, and then they'll give us our money after a little while. For a new company, documenting does not have to be complex at all. Keep it simple. It's as simple as, or maybe not so simple for some people, documenting every single transaction that occurs as a result of your new business. I mean, obviously we hope that you're super busy and that will be hard to do, but the reality is, if you're doing transactions, you can follow those transactions daily or weekly. So keep up with that information. It's as easy as writing down every time you receive money or you spend money. There's apps and programs now in 2020 that can help you with this task of keeping track of your profits and expenses. Simple as that, profits and expenses. I want to bring it back to another real world example with this pandemic that we're currently in. The government now gave out CERB. So I know a lot of people took advantage of CERB, which is good because the government always owes us more money because we're always paying the government money. But to be eligible for CERB as a self-proprietor, gig worker, or individual business, you had to have had X amount of money come into your business in the prior 12 months. So here's a real world example of where it's important for you to keep track of how much money you made and how much money you spent, because they're going to need that information, or you would have submitted that information in your 2019 tax return. So hopefully that information that you submitted matches the requirements for CERB. Overall, keeping an effective accounting record is going to give you a clear view at the end of the year how profitable your business was. It's commonly said that a business only becomes profitable after a minimum 5 years in operation. I would agree with that statement for sure. Overall, in life, anything valuable truly blossoms after a minimum of 5 years. Look to school, for example, look to any business. 5 years of what I call livicated work, not dedicated, livicated work, because we're living life. The good news, though, in the music industry is that you can trump this commonly held notion with one hit record. You know what I'm saying, Dynamic?
Yeah, no, 100%, man. And you know, when it comes down to everything that you talked about, there's one thing that I wanted to kind of ask you in the midst of this before you carry on, just to give some tips to some of these artists out there so they realize, you know, some of these things that you were talking about when you said that we could write off, for instance, going to the gym and getting a gym membership. You know what I mean? Is that something as an artist that you would be able to write off because, you know, you're trying to stay physically fit for your career? What are some other things along those lines?
Well, I mean, for me, it's a lot of more strictly music business related things like travel expenses, lodging, paying producers, anything music business related, eating, doing meetings, clothing. I would actually even agree with you on the gym membership if you're, because an important thing that I also always harp on is imaging and branding. So if your body is part of your imaging and your branding and gets you people and gets you traction and gets you sales, yes, write it off. Consider it an expense for your business. We see what's going on. Let's keep it real world. We see what's going on with Trump right now, and also Jeff Bilzerian in the States. And it's a tricky line to walk at times. I'm going to be honest, but as long as you're clear cut in what these expenses have to do with your business, there should be no issues.